Supposedly, Sir Edmund Hillary, who is credited with being the first to climb Mount Everest, was asked, "Why did you climb it?" And of course the famous answer, "Because it was there." Well, in case some of you are confused this morning, no, I don't know why the Easter candle is lit. It shouldn't be lit, but I think somebody saw that it was there, and so they felt it needed to be lit. So just a second. And no, it's not my birthday. Wonderful words in the gospel. Too bad we don't pay attention to them. Too bad we can't, it seems, pay attention to them. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. Fact is, we do. From the time we are very, very young. Our parents leave us alone. We're worried about being alone. We're afraid of the dark. We get a bit older. We're afraid of the members of the opposite sex. A little bit older, and we're afraid of whether we are good enough or acceptable or cool enough. All of that teenage angst. We move on. Life. There are all kinds of things that we worry about, that we fear. Considering things like the possibility of Alzheimer's, cancer, frightening things. When our kids come along, it brings us a whole new set of worries because we want so much to protect them, to make sure that nothing bad happens to them. But our fear always comes out of not having control. Things might happen other than the ways that I want them to. Things might happen other than the ways that I feel comfortable. And I'm not powerful enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough to stop it, to control it. That's our fear. In a day and age of one terrorist attack after another, how much is our level of fear, which can lead to mistrust, which can lead to hostility, how much has that grown? Jesus says, do not be afraid, over and over again. In the Old Testament, we hear God say it to Abraham. We hear God say it to Moses. When there was uncertainty, when there was difficult situations, Jesus says it so many times in the Gospels. Even to the point of his resurrection. When he appeared with the disciples, appeared before them. And they didn't understand, and so because they didn't understand, they were afraid. He said, "Fear not, it is me." So don't fear. Good luck to us. Certainly it's something for us to keep working on. But you can't just take away fear. You've got to replace it with something more positive. Confidence, reassurance, but most of all, hope. What Jesus is really saying to us is not so much, don't be afraid, nothing bad is ever going to happen to you, because we know that's not true. What Jesus says to us is, don't be afraid. Don't be paralyzed by fear. Bad things may happen to you. Bad things may happen to others. But they will not destroy you as a person. Julian of Norwich, who was a mystic of the church in the 14th century, put it very well. He said, "He did not say, 'You will not be tempted, you will not be troubled, you will not be distressed.' But he said, 'You will not be overcome.'" Optimism tries to kind of wish all those fearful things away from us. Hope puts it all in its proper perspective. God is in charge ultimately. God's love is stronger than evil. That's the resurrection. And that's the basis of our faith. In the end, all that we go through, all the evil, God will take and use for his purpose and build his kingdom and bring about his greater good. So yeah, for all of us, somebody once said, worry is a form of atheism. Because we forget that God is with us always, that God will care for us. He doesn't knock away every single thing, bad thing that approaches us. He doesn't intervene in that way because he's given us freedom. But he does promise You may be tempted, you may be troubled, you may be distressed, but I am with you, and you will never be overcome. We are, because of the resurrection of Jesus, people of hope.